Welcome to the Capability Chronicles. I'm your host, Anessa Pfeiffer-Johnson. The Capability Chronicles is a series of programs produced with the purpose of promoting an inclusive community by featuring the strengths and contributions of people with disabilities. Today we will be discussing visitability. Can anyone visit us in our home? I would like to introduce Royce Schultz, Executive Director of Dakota Center for Independent Living, and this is Tricia Slosher, a Sales Associate with Century 21 Morrison Realty. All right. Thank you, both of you, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I'll start with what is visitability, Royce?
It's actually a real simple concept. It incorporates three features in building a new home, which is a zero-step entrance going into the home, wider doorways, which would be at least 32-inch clear width, and a usable bathroom.
So visitability, now how is that different than universal design?
Universal design is the concept where you make the entire home as accessible as possible.
Okay. So universal design is for the person who's living in the home, right?
Correct.
Accessibility would be, or excuse me, visitability is for when people come to visit. So what's accessibility? That's for businesses?
Basically, yes.
Accessibility is for businesses?
Yes.
Okay.
You would consider visitability and universal design towards homes.
Private property or,
Correct.
or homes. Okay,
Yes.
okay. You're a realtor, is visitability a national trend? Is it something that's growing?
You know, nationally, I think that eventually will become more of a trend. And I know you can add to this, but it makes sense. It's an inclusion. And so it's really three very simple things that need to be included in a home to make it visitable.
And excuse me.
Yeah.
Also to add that it's very inexpensive to incorporate these as you're building your home.
Right. Yeah, as you're building, it's just making a decision like the cabinets or the height of a sink. It's just, you just do it when you're building it.
Correct.
Correct.
Yeah.
Is it expensive to alter a home?
A lot more expensive.
A lot more expensive.
Yeah. You're adding ramps, you're widening doorways that have already been installed, so it's quite a bit more expensive.
Is it a law anywhere? Is it just a trend, people doing it to be nice, or what state? Where did this start? Where did?
Actually, the concept started back in, I believe it was 1987, with an organization called Concrete Change. They come up with the concept. The first city to actually have an ordinance with this was at Atlanta, Georgia, back in 1992.
Really?
So it's been around for a while. It just hasn't spread across the United States like I would like it to see. Currently, there is approximately 53 ordinances or state laws that incorporate this.
I think as awareness, as that visitability awareness catches on, I think that we'll see more of a trend. I really do. I think so. It just makes more sense for an aging population. I know here in North Dakota we really see that. Oh. And that is highly desirable to have those visitability features.
Yeah.
So I think it will only continue to grow.
In the homes that you're selling right now, what percentage or what numbers do you have of homes that are visitable?
Well, it's really interesting because right now we don't have a way to find that percentage.
It's not listed?
It's not something that's that you can find easily. You can call the city possibly and find some information with them. You really, when you're looking on the internet, where most buyers are looking, they're looking online, you can find you can find possible accessibility features. But when they say accessibility features, that you don't always know what that means. Does that mean there's a ramp? Does that mean there's a no-step entrance? Does that mean there's wider doorways? For a lot of people, just because they don't have the knowledge of what even visitability is or even accessibility is,
Right.
they, all of that information isn't really gathered together. And today, and this changes every day, in the homes in Bismarck-Mandan, the dwelling places, when we're looking at everything from condos to duplexes to single-family homes, we have 120 on the market today. 53 are ranch-style homes, which we consider more accessible.
Right.
However, a lot of those ranch-style homes still have steps going into the home.
Yep.
So to say a percentage, I can't give you an exact amount,
Right.
but a very small percentage.
How many, have you had people or clients call you and say, I'd like to buy a new home and I need to find one that my grandmother can come live with us, or my brother who's in a wheelchair, who uses a wheelchair, he needs to be able to come visit. Have you had specific questions like that?
Oh, absolutely. We have a lot of people looking for homes that are, and they're looking generally for ranch, because for most people, accessible still means a couple steps.
Yeah.
I sold a home to a young couple, probably in their 20s, a few months ago, and they wanted that no-step entrance. They wanted the wider hallways. They actually bought new construction because they had family members with disabilities. So they wanted that. They also saw it as a very smart way to buy, because in the future, they know that they have more, it's accessible to more buyers. They know that the resale will be better for them.
Yeah, people are going to be looking for that more and more.
Yeah.
Correct.
More and more, especially with our aging population.
Yeah,
I would
exactly.
guess. Tricia, compare an older, non-visitable home with a home that has been made visitable by the buyer or the retailer. Compare those.
Well, first of all, like Roy said, it's going to be a lot more expensive
Yeah.
to take a home that is not visitable and make it visitable. When you're looking at a non-visitable home, for one that is, you're looking at more steps. A lot of our homes have narrow hallways, especially the bathroom door
Yeah.
in our older homes. That's going to be almost your smallest. It's going to be like a closet door.
Right.
So that is going to be very different from a visitable home, a newer. And you'll find that a little more in our new construction, in our twin homes and condos.
Yeah. Just as an example, I bought my house back in 1999. The individual that had owned it had a disability, was in a chair. So most of the house was set up pretty well, but I still had to put a ramp in. It had 2 bathrooms.
So he was using a chair, and you still needed to use a ramp, or he needed to, the
Well,
ramp wasn't there?
Yeah, he had moved out and
Okay.
he was renting a house out.
Oh, renting, okay.
Yeah, so they didn't have a ramp in it. But when they did the remodeling, they took the master bedroom, made that into a master bath, but the original bathroom door was probably 28 inches wide.
Right.
Pretty common, yeah,
So,
for an older
yeah,
home.
there's absolutely no way you would get in there.
No.
Yeah.
No. So to make it visitable, they just need to make sure that there's a bathroom accessible and people can come in. It's not like you wouldn't even necessarily need a ranch style, because the bedrooms wouldn't necessarily need to be visited. So you could have
Correct.
the bedrooms upstairs.
Correct, yeah.
I understand. Okay. So Royce, you said you have a home. How when you go visit other people, like how many of your friends and family can you go visit?
Family, I can visit all of them.
You can.
They've all got modular homes. They had them designed with wider doorways. They added ramps. As far as friends, very minimal. Actually, one.
What?
Yeah. Other than that, it's just if I visit other friends, they have disabilities, so their apartments or homes are accessible.
I see. So you have to meet your friends for coffee uptown,
Or at my place,
or
or
at your place.
go sit in their garage and.
What level of visitability would you like to see here in Bismarck-Mandan?
I would just like to see the basics, have that zero-step entrance with an accessible route, the wider doorways. And when we're talking wider doorways, it's basically just a standard 32-inch door. just so you get that 32-inch clear width. Obviously, if it's 34 or 36, it's going to be a little bit nicer for getting in and out, but also it's going to make it easier for the homeowner for moving stuff in and out. And then to have that usable bathroom.
It's usable bathroom. Is it easier to sell a house that has, I mean, when you're selling it, do you ever point that out as a feature?
Oh, absolutely. When you go through homes, you look, you take buyers through, you say, well, now this is, I mean, really, what people are looking for today are a wider open space, the open floor plan. Not all people, but a lot of people are drawn to that. They want the bigger doorways. And even if they aren't looking for those features still become desirable to them because there is just more. They can move things in and out of rooms easier. They can just do a lot more with that. It's just a lot easier. When you think about a couple with a baby going in and out of a door with a stroller, it's a lot easier to, instead of going downstairs.
Right, yeah, I mean, with the stroller. How much does it impact you with the friends that you aren't able to visit? I mean, there's always barriers to visiting your friends, time constraints and getting together and having children. Like when my children were napping, okay, my friends, you can come over. Like, I have 5 minutes or I have a half hour. But it really does limit you. Then there's one more limitation as to who you can visit and when you can visit, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely.
They have to come to your place.
That's usually what happens,
Is your fridge stocked at all times?
Yeah.
That's good.
I think it's just because they don't want to clean their house.
Yeah.
Your house is cleaner. Your house is cleaner.
It doesn't matter. I make them clean mine when they leave anyway.
What are some of Royce, this is to Royce, but you can answer it too, all right? What are some of the barriers to visitability? Like, what are the barriers?
I think it's lack of education. I think there's a lot of people out in the public that don't know that they can build their houses this way. Everybody's so used to think that they have to have those 2 or 3 steps going into their home, which they don't have to. And I think contractors, home builders, can provide that education to the public as they're designing their homes.
I would agree. I think that education is probably the biggest barrier. Really just people knowing what the word visitability means. I think it almost sounds a little scary because you don't really, if you don't know what something means, it can be a little daunting. But
before today, I had not heard the term visitability. I mean, I had to look at it a couple times and break it down. I mean, it makes sense. Visitability, the ability to visit somebody. And I was thinking about this. People have to choose then between having a home that's a little bit above ground, so maybe they have accessible windows for emergency windows or, those conforming bedroom windows, and having a home that's visitable. Is it possible to have both? Is it, like I have a walkout basement, so you would be able to visit, you'd be able to stop it and, we'd, take you to the back, but you wouldn't be able to go to the kitchen, you wouldn't be able to use my restroom or my bathroom. So, is there a way to compromise? Is there a way to do both?
I think even with a walkout basement, you could do both. You could have that no-step entrance in the front and on a hillside go down into a walkout basement. I think there are ways to do it. So I do think so.
Split-level homes, maybe?
The split level's a little more, well,
for visiting,
Yes, and I've even seen some different splits where they'll have, when you walk in, instead of on a traditional split level, you'll go up or you'll go down.
Right.
So I've seen somewhere that you come in, and there's a whole area, a living area, there's a bathroom, the garage door, and then it goes up into the steps go up into the kitchen.
Yeah, so it's not a split entry. It's just
not a split entry, but it is a split level home.
Yeah, I guess that's what I was envisioning too. I have friends who you walk into their home and I think it's almost like the bedrooms are up.
Yes.
Halfway up and things like that. So.
Yeah, and if you have a basement, you can still do the 0-step entry.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
From some of the research that I've been reading on, if it's on a slab, it's about an additional $100. If you have a basement, you're looking somewhere $300 to $500 more to do that 0-step entrance.
A lot of people are remodeling their homes, doing a lot of remodeling now. where would they get information? Like if they're going to be remodeling anyway, why not put in these features? Is there a website, is there a way to find out what features you're looking for?
Yeah, you can go to Concrete Change, or you can do a search, just type in visitability, and you'll have more information you know what to do with.
Is it Concrete Change, you would just Google it, or is that
Yeah.
concretechange.com?
I'm not sure if it's .com or .org.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. So visitability.
yeah.
Visitability and Concrete Change. So then people would know, might as well make these doors wider. I've got to
Absolutely.
pull down the sheetrock and fix it all up anyway. I might as well
Yeah.
make it
those
so
changes.
make it so Royce can come visit
Yeah.
Yeah.
and Grandma. And,
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, see, everybody can come visit me, I just can't go visit everybody. Yeah.
Give an example of a home that's visitable. Is there? Can you think of an example of a home like? Is the governor's home visitable? Or have you been there?
I'd like to be.
Would you like to go to the
Yeah.
governor's home? But
I take my dog past there a couple times a week, but
I mean, can you think of one offhand that just popped in your mind like that home's visitable? Like when you see it, you're like,
I absolutely can. Not many, but I can. I just, I referred to that young couple before.
Okay.
But it was a twin home, and the sidewalk, you go right up to the door. I mean, there's no step. Right in, there's a bathroom right inside, and there's wide hallways going in the living area, the kitchen. Everything's on one level. It's slab on grade. So it's really, and you notice it when you drive by. And that that is accessible. So.
and just one thing to add to that is that zero-step entrance doesn't have to be the front door.
oh,
It can
sure.
be the front door, it can be through the garage, the back door, just as long as you got an accessible route to get there.
Correct.
So it doesn't have to be the front door.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's true.
One example I have is it's a house, you do go through the garage. They got the wider hallways, they got a bathroom that's completely usable, and they built it specifically for that because they knew someday
Yeah.
they would be aging and
People avoid steps anyway. I mean, knee surgeries or walkers or things like that. So it doesn't necessarily mean to refer to someone who is using a wheelchair. It can be just somebody who just doesn't want or isn't able to climb up and down the stairs
Yeah.
to take the steps.
And Bismarck State College a couple years ago actually built a home that is accessible
They did.
and, zero steps.
So was that a visitable home or was that what's the word? I'm going to find it. Or a universal design home?
Universal design.
It was universal
Yep.
design. It was
They-
universal
yeah.
design. So a home that's universal design wouldn't cost that much or any more than being built than a home that's just what we would consider standard. When you're building it, would it cost more? Just the doors would be wider?
I think if it did, it'd be minimal.
It'd be minimal. A lot of it would have to do with the initial planning.
Right.
When builders have that initial floor plan that they can build easily, economically, that they would want to have that same kind of plan.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that they could usually, a lot of times, just take their original plans and alter them a little bit.
Right.
I'm not a builder.
Right.
So I do not know
That's a
that for
different
sure.
show. We'll be talking about that in a different program.
So I will not claim to have that knowledge.
And they would probably have to do a little different landscaping.
But from a realtor's point of view, that would open new doors to buyers. That would open a lot of new doors.
The more buyers
Yeah.
you want to make a product
Yeah.
that is really accessible to more buyers. More people want to buy your product.
Yeah, and right now for a person with a disability, you're really limited out there as far as what you can buy if you want to buy something that's already built.
Okay, so now I'm kind of hooked in this. Other than this show, which I'm hoping lots of people watch and they get the idea that when I build my next home, I'm going to make sure there's doors that are accessible. What else can you do? Like, what else can we do to make people realize this is important when you're building a home? Like, are there flyers? Is there a movement?
Well, I would like to get a movement started.
Want to be the poster child for that?
Yeah. I think it goes along that same line as education. if we can just get out there and just let people know this is what visitability is, it doesn't cost a bunch of money, but it makes sense.
That program you talked about, Concrete Change, do they have flyers and pamphlets? Do they send out information to home builders? I mean, should we call our home builders and say, how many homes do you have on the market that are accessible? I know I do that with grocery stores. Whenever I go to the grocery store, they're like, did you find everything you're looking for? And I'm like, I'm going to do a little name dropping here. So they start bringing in some stuff that I want. Should we do that? Are there organizations that do that already, or do we need to do it?
We need to do it.
We need to do it.
I think we need to do it.
So what are the accessible options that we should ask for? Like if I'm calling the home builder and I say, I want to make sure this happens, is that standard? Do you have blueprints with this already? Like what do I want to ask for?
I would ask them if they do have blueprints for accessible homes and see what they have. And if not, like I say, for the visitability standards, it's pretty minimal. The wider doors, the costs I've seen, it might be $20 a door or more.
The countertops don't need to be
No,
any different?
no,
Not with visitability.
Not with visitability.
no, just
Just those three things.
Just those three things?
that's it.
That's just three things.
Yeah.
I'm looking for more information. I guess I got it.
just those
If I have
three.
it right here. Tricia, what are some access options that you already have in homes?
Access options?
Yeah.
Well, besides the no step, which isn't as common, ramps, like you had mentioned before, even a garage door. Sometimes even if there's a step, the garage door might be a no step, though sometimes there's step going from the garage to into the house. But so you might find that might be an option for you.
So are there different parts of town that require certain designs? I've seen that
Well,
where
in
all the
certain
homes look the same.
Yes, in certain subdivisions, you're going to find that they have their restrictions and their covenants, but I'm not aware of any that say that they're going to be looking at those accessibility or visitability features,
Right.
that's part of their covenants.
Okay.
So, and I'm not aware of any. That doesn't mean they're not out there, but
So there aren't any areas that say you have to have steps, you have to have a front porch that looks like this?
there could be, but not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
And,
Then you could always do the garage door or side door or
yes,
something.
absolutely.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to touch on, some of the other city ordinances and state laws that already incorporate visitability, they do have waivers if the landscape is such that it's really cost prohibitive to make a zero-step entrance.
I see.
They do have that. And also, some of them do have mandatory laws that all homes have to be visitable.
All homes have to be visitable?
Yes.
And that was in Georgia?
I can't remember which ones right offhand. Some vary. They mandate all homes have to be visitable, or if you are receiving any kind of public financing, whether it's tax credits.
That's fantastic.
That would have any federally funded housing has to be.
Yeah,
Has to
federally
meet those
funded, some even
those
go if they got
requirements.
state, city
Some.
tax breaks or,
So there's a movement out there. This is happening. This is changing.
yes.
Is there resistance, or is it just a lack of education? Is there any groups that saying we shouldn't be,
We haven't heard that yet, but, once we get the word out more, I'm sure there will be some, because people just, they don't want to be told how they have to build
Right.
their home.
Yeah.
Although they have to be told now anyway with certain city codes and stuff.
Yeah.
And it
So-
just makes sense. I mean, with visitability, you're looking at such a minimal.
Yeah.
I mean, you're looking at, just again, the no-step entrance, the 32-inch doors, and then a bathroom that's accessible.
Yeah.
So you're not asking a
Right.
whole lot.
And you're not, there's the grandfather thing where
Yes,
it's not saying that everybody
absolutely.
needs to change their homes. It's
Absolutely.
just the new homes being built need to meet these standards.
Yeah.
Thank you. This was very interesting. I'm going to use that word from now on. Royce, Tricia, it's really nice to meet you both. And I think, was there anything else you wanted to say, something that I didn't ask, or?
Nothing to think of.
Wonderful. Good. Well, thank you for coming.
Thank
you
you.
for coming and letting us know. And thank you for watching this segment of the Capability Chronicles. We hope this program has provided you with a deeper look into the disability world and has encouraged inclusivity in our community. For more information on the Capability Chronicles, visit thearcofbismarck.org.
If you enjoyed this program, would like to see it again, or send the link to your friends, it's available at freetv.org.